Return to the Office 2025. This is one of those rom-coms that I found really up my street. I really enjoyed this one. I guess it's the whole thing about it fitted in with my life experiences, after COVID, when we were forced to return to work. And it was, yeah, I mean, some places, the workplace I was in said that we wouldn't be forced 100% all of the time back to work. And that's the circumstances most people find themselves in, especially with, I mean, they often have introduced hot desking in offices. And there certainly wasn't the space for it. They put in a lot more meeting spaces, and we're encouraged back a couple of days a week or 2 to 3 days. And that's the kind of thing that happens in this film. And you see at the start, like the protagonist, she was, oh gosh, just looking up her name, Liv, played by Janelle Parish. Um, she really likes working at home. I mean, you see her switching off the alarm at 7 a.m. and switching on Bach and other classical music to ease her back into working life, and she just commutes in her slippers downstairs. And yeah, I found it a great experience working at home, remote working, loved it. And then so being forced to commute I mean, I had a walking commute, I was lucky, but um, it wasn't that, it's a jolt. And, when managers look at you with a serious, very stern look in their face on the video conference call and say, I want you back next week. You know, uh, there's no way around it, really, I guess. I mean, you can dispute it, you can argue it, but um, they have, I mean, actually, you can in certain circumstances, obviously, um, if you've got disabilities and stuff. But if arguing completely against working in the office, unless that was guaranteed. I mean, it was difficult in London because we had London waiting, and I guess they'd say, well, you don't get that then if you don't come back to work. So, oh, I mean, I worked a lot in Wales in 2021. It feels like a totally different world to now. Still, the main thing is, Liv returns to work and she has Monday and Wednesday in the office. She volunteers for this thing on Thursday, so that's why she chooses those days. The senior manager, the head of the whole organization, so that everyone can work home on Friday, which is lovely. But people returning, the other people, they're desk sharing. So Tuesday and Thursday are for the desk sharer, in this case, hot desking. And they arrange their, they make their arrangements. I think there are certain protocols, desk etiquette, as we called it, where you had to stow everything in lockers, and in this case, in drawers. And Liv has a succulent, and she asked if it could be left out all of the time. And her desk sharer agrees to that. They have this back and forth conversation. Oh, he does at one point. His name's Tom, and he says, "No, he's going to put it in the drawer," which annoys Liv, but they start off on a bit of a acrimonious note, you could say, but work it out, and they more or less become like sweet pen pals, I think. I think it's really kind of lovely seeing those handwritten notes. I always felt like I was back in the office writing notes to people, but I didn't have one other person that I permanently um, had any sort of working relationship on the phone. In this case, it seems to be a much smaller organization, probably maybe 100 altogether, and they're artists and they're creative and they're working on their stuff. And yeah, it kind of feels like it has a lot of nostalgia for that time when I've returned to the office, 2022 in particular. I remember some people from another part of the office walking around the area where I was, the room where I was, because it was a room, and we had great views over a courtyard in the middle of our office. And these two colleagues, lads from another area, they were going, "Wow, this is prime real estate." I was thinking, I've landed a great spot. Oh gosh. But yeah, it looks nice, this office where Liv and Tom work, and they seem to have iron out their disagreements. And it turns out they've got more in common than they think, because both their mothers are um, going to be living in the same retirement home. Xanadu living, and Liv volunteers there. And I think, yeah, Tom at some point, you see him sketching his mother, and then the other mothers who start to make friends with each other want sketches as well. So there's all sorts of things happening. But the office angle is that Liv and Tom don't they they don't realize this, and they've agreed to keep it secret. I mean, it's clear because one, I mean, Liv says she's Ms. Monday, and so Tom says he's Mr. Tuesday. So they've revealed their gender, and it's very heteronormative. It's cis and straight, the storyline, but it's got a very sweet chemistry. I thought I kind of liked how these two characters were acted, and I really liked the personable HR um, chap. His name was Chad. Yeah, and I kind of like, especially when they do this sort of team, what do you call it? Team building exercise, away day, that sort of thing. Oh, I just thought, yeah, that kind of reminded me of HR people, and I got on with almost all of them, apart from maybe one who was like, or, yeah, I think one who was, assisting my manager, in making my life hard. But no, I mean, most HR people are sweet, and I've known other HR people from elsewhere, and they're sweet. And oh gosh, um, there's there's one thing is that Liv gets to find out more information about Tom than she wants to reveal, and there's this humorous, crafty dishonesty, and it probably isn't dishonest because she's just holding back because they agree to date, and she wants to find out more about what he's really like in terms of emotional intelligence, because that's one of the things that is really clear, often with cis het white men. They often seem to miss something. I mean, cis straight men, they can be very emotionally intelligent like everyone else, but sometimes they've got a big ego. It's like, it's quite clear that this Tom is quite, upset when the CEO doesn't want to, take on his creative design. And it feels like Liv is trying to be a peacemaker. She's doing stuff with body language, trying facial expressions to get him to calm down a bit because she doesn't want him to lose his job, the same as she doesn't want to lose her job. And I think she's doing the best. And then a bit later on, other stuff appears, and things. There are some twists, and I kind of really like them because, I mean, I was on Team Liv all the way through. Even though I don't necessarily think she was quite right. At one point, or I started thinking, "Oh gosh, is she going to make a decision that I don't like and alienates me?" And I think I might be on Team Tom. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to reveal too much again because of the spoiler angle, but I loved how volunteering was a key part of their. They were both really lovely people, I thought. Um, so, in terms of it has got a lot of hallmark cheesiness, and I'd say it was my favourite cheesy hallmark film. Out of the ones I've seen quite a few. They've all got this sort of romantic, dipsy music, and it's like, oh my gosh, do they really have to do this? And it is so straight, and yet I suppose it was because I could get my teeth into something that I could really follow. It wasn't all flouncy stuff. I mean, going back to work was something I could really identify with, and the quilting, the crafting, the painting, the all the artwork, the creative side. I thought that was, that was elevated, and that was really good in this film. Um, so whilst there were gender-based stereotypes, um, there was a lot where it really involved me in this film. Um, and those two main characters, I mean, like Liv and Scott Michael Foster plays Tom, uh, and Eric Gale plays Chad. Yeah, and then there's the boss, and there's there's a few people. I thought, wow, yeah, really, really thought these were um, personable, great people, and yeah, I'm going to score this 8.75. That's really high for a Hallmark rom-com. But it was one that I just didn't want to put down, didn't want to stop in the sense that a lot of rom-coms I think, all right, this is fairly mindless to me. But I think the Office angle, simply because it gelled so much for me, it mattered. Um, and a lot of them don't make as much. They don't. Um, I find them harder to relate to. I suppose that's what it is. So I don't feel almost I'm giving this too high a score. Should I give it 8.5? But no, 8.75. So I'd love to know what you think. Uh, please like if you like this review. Thanks if you subscribe. Please hit the notification button. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.